Alright, here we go. Now, I am by no means a professional, but I do like to play, as you know. So let's see if I can't help you get a little better at Battlegrounds. This is my second time trying this. The first time I forgot to click the microphone, so I had been talking for like a minute and no audio was being recorded. Hope I got it right this time, because I'm going to go longer than that minute. Now, at the start of every game, you're going to look at the top and you're going to see which type of minions you have available in the tavern. Then you look at your heroes to see what their abilities are, their hero powers, and then their buddies as well. So here I have Edwin Van Cleef with the give a minion +1/+1 upgrades after you buy 4 cards. And then Tavish Stormpike, take aim with Deadeye. I'm running out of time here, so after looking at both these two and looking at the minions you can get in the tavern, I noticed that you can't buy a lot of cards real fast, so it makes it difficult to do well with Edwin Van Cleef. But with Stormpike here, there's a chance of him having a strong start because of his hero power not costing anything and not requiring any other, like buying cars or any other prerequisites to use. It's just there at the start. It's pretty OP at the beginning. So, to start, you only have 3 gold, so you can't upgrade the tavern. So usually the first turn you buy a minion. Here I'm just letting you look at the different types of ways that you can aim. It doesn't really matter with the first round with the Stormpike here. And I decided to pick this elemental to start because he buffs as the game progresses. If you play another elemental after him, then you get +1 health. So that was my ability to take aim, hitting the only target that they have, and then my elemental just finishing them off. So right there, you'll see, let's rewind that. So when you do damage to the other, or when you win against the other player, you do damage based on the tier of your minions. So if you had more than 1 minion, it would add them all up. And then the tier of the tavern that you're on. So because I'm at tavern 1 and I only have a 1-star minion, it only equals 2. But then you can have, with the way that the game's set up, the maximum damage you could do is like 49 in 1 turn, but that's almost impossible to achieve. Anyway, later game you can get hit pretty hard. At the start, the first, with all the players that you have, if it's more than 4 players still in the game, you can only get hit up to a max of 15 damage at once. But once it's down to the last 4, then you can get hit up, hit more than 15. Still, at the very start, you're only getting hit, 2, maybe 3 or 4 the most for the first few turns. 5 maybe by turn 2, turn 3. So I'm looking at my buddy now, Krabby. After your hero power deals damage, give adjacent minion stats equal to the damage dealt. So by adjacent, it's to the left and to the right of Krabby. So he's not bad, but the problem is that damage isn't permanent, or that the stats that you give to the minions to the left and right of him aren't permanent. So after you use your hero power, and after the turn ends, those stats go away. So it's not a great card to keep, but it's good, when you first get it. If you can really get some good warbands going, warbands being the cards that you have on the front, then it can get pretty large, much larger than anything that Krabby can give you. But you'll see how this game progresses. So here, I had 4 gold coins, and it cost 4 gold to upgrade the tavern, so I went ahead and upgraded the tavern. Normally, people upgrade to tavern 2 at the second turn. So that's the turn that you're at. If you hover over this right side here, you'll see the turns. Oh no, I think it's down here. I'll show you the turns. Somewhere on the right side. So I saved that. You can do that. Let me rewind a little bit. You can freeze the tavern minions so that they don't go away next turn. Otherwise, they'll refresh, and then all the ones that you see will be gone. But I thought, you know, I can get a double. I can get 2 of these guys, and then they'll buff each other up, and then that one on the next turn. You'll see. So there I went, you know, take aim, and again, the minion finished off. So strong start with that hero power. Now here I go again. I look at my enemy to see what they got, and then you get used to, you know, doing that. Like I did it real quick. I looked over, I saw that they have 1 demon, you know, and I already think about what demons they can be playing. So coming out of tier 1, they only have 2 demons available to them, and one of them can be pretty strong. It's like a 4/5, so it's going to take a couple hits. If it's the other demon, then it can vary because its ability here uses other minions from the tavern. It consumes them. That one's called Picky Eater. I remember the name of that one. It's one of the few I remember. But here's hoping I use aim low so I can kill the smaller health minion that they have. I play that elemental, you'll see the other one gets buffed, and then I use taunt on that other one so it can increase the health of it, give it a stronger chance of survival. And then I have 1 gold left, so I just go ahead and use it to refresh the tavern. And then I see that there's elements in there, and I like that tavern spell on the right. You didn't get to see what it does. Let me see if I hover over it for a second. Shiny Ring, give your minions +1/+1, so that's all of the minions that you have in your warband. So what I'll do next turn is I'll summon, or I'll buy this guy, and then I'll summon him to the field, and then I'll play the Shiny Ring. And that'll be my majority of my gold there. So he had Picky Eater, that's that guy on the left. I killed his lower dude, and Picky Eater finished himself off on my top minion.
Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure.
Alright, so now I see that that guy also has demons. So just gonna go ahead and aim high this time. Just like I said, I'm buying that guy. He has Divine Shield and Wind Fury, so Wind Fury meaning that he can attack twice in one go. So I definitely like him because Divine Shield means he doesn't get damaged on the first hit. So he always gets in his 2 hits. Whereas other minions might have Wind Fury, but they don't have Divine Shield, so they don't always survive that first attack. After refreshing the tavern, I noticed it's nothing I want, so I don't keep it. So going into 7 gold, I forget which turn this is, but going into 7 gold, normally people upgrade at this point because you can upgrade the tavern, and then you'll still have 3 gold to use. My problem is that there's no elementals on this, so I just pick that Naga, so he gives me an extra coin. I look at the mixed minions there, and I'm not sure what that means, so I just pick aim low. I figure maybe I can kill off a low health minion of his. And now I just have to wait 20 seconds until the match starts. So as you continue playing, you'll have a lot of these gaps of, you got nothing to do. You think about, potential minions that are coming up in the Tavern 3 for Tier 3. And that's where we can potentially get one of the cards that we want. Unfortunately for this game, I didn't get it until really late, so it really hindered my end game. But I'll bring it up later. So this guy had some very healthy minions. So he absolutely destroyed me. I got hit for 8. And I fell from grace.
I've got some fresh recruits for you.
So here, I'm thinking, well, I got Krabby. None of those minions in the tavern right now are showing much promise, but maybe I can use Krabby to my benefit. So yeah, after much debate, internal debate, I decided to use Krabby. I place him next to my Divine Shield minion. And again, that guy has mixed minions, so that doesn't help me understand which one to use. I just aim low, hoping for the best. I get this guy. He makes the minion, or his battle cry being, once you play it, it's a one-time thing. It gives you special bonus. So it allowed me to refresh the tavern at no cost. And then the orange guys on the right, they got +1 health each. So next turn, usually by 9 gold, you'll see people upgrade the tavern again. You use 6 gold on upgrading the tavern, and then you can use 3 gold to buy a minion. Now it's not always that way. You can, upgrade later or upgrade earlier. But if you upgrade too often, too soon, it hurts your gameplay. This one I didn't do too bad. Having Krabby at the beginning, buffing up those other two, really helped. And I just show you there. So if you go back to the beginning of combat, you'll see Deadeye works. It did 4 damage, so it buffed. Oh, and I wanted to show that Krabby, there's like a little bug where the warband minions, they don't look like they're in the same position that you had them in, but they really are. So I had Krabby in between this far guy on the left and between this blue guy, but it looks like he's over here now. So he got buffed and so did the blue guy, so he is in fact between them, and then right after he's done attacking, you'll see him attack next. You'll see Krabby attack next. So that guy goes, now Krabby's going, so even though it looked like he was further down the line, because your minions attack left to right, so that's something that's beneficial to remember. That's really important. How you place your minions is very important to a successful game. So now next up, refreshing anomaly will go, so everything's back in order. Alright, so I won. Every time you win a game, I'm not sure if I said this earlier, but your buddy goes down 3. If you lose, it only goes down 2. If you tie, it also goes down 3. So There I go, I upgraded, like I said I was going to, and I got the shiny ring again. And I'm freezing the tavern this time because I see Lil Rag, which he can be a great minion to have if you're playing elementals. So after you play an elemental, give a friendly minion stats equal to the elemental's tier. Now the best thing about that is it doesn't specify that you need to keep elementals in your warband. It just says that you have to play elementals. The only issue is if you don't have enough gold, and if you're too behind on your tier level, then you don't have a lot of buffs coming your way. So if, like for example, you were to play another little rag after you played this one, it would buff any one of your minions +4/+4. But if you were to play one of these orange guys on the right, it would only buff them +1/+1. So it all depends on the elemental's tier that you're playing. So it could even go to this Naga right here. It's all about playing the elemental. It's not about keeping elementals. So you can only have Lil Rag on your warband, and as long as you're playing elementals, your other minions are going to get buffed. So he's a good card to play if you're using elementals. So I think, why not give him a shot? And then here I am looking at, my enemy, seeing which Deadeye I should use. I figure aim high because, it might take away all of his health, because that hero has the hero power of giving health to their minions. So it might seem like a lot's going on, but once you really understand all of these heroes, all the minions, the way that they can be played with each other, it can give you a lot of time to think. So yeah, I just looked at that demon in the middle because she combos well with any way that you can buff her, it's beneficial. So using Deadeye on the highest health minion worked out well because it killed, I did enough damage to kill off his highest health minion. And then we both came out even, so we both tied, which was good because Krabby dropped. So I have 10 gold, and I only have 9, well it costs 9 gold to upgrade the tavern, so I don't bother with upgrading the tavern yet. Pull out Lil Rag, I get rid of Refreshing Anomaly, and I get that crafty Aranashi. Figure if I see another elemental, ooh perfect, Lil Rag. So I'm going to get rid of that one, and then you'll see +4/+4 given to somebody else. So the elemental on the far left got it. It was 6/3. I summoned a little rag, and it becomes 10/7. And then the orange guys, they get buffed because I played an elemental, so they got +1/+1. So I put that demon. I put that demon next to Krabby, so that way she could have more health. And then here when I refresh, I see the minion I was talking about from tier 3, which he can be pretty great if you get him early on. Living Azurite, whenever you cast a tavern spell, elementals in the tavern have +1/+1 this game. So tavern spell being the spell on the right here. And it's every spell on the right here. Every time you refresh the tavern, you'll see a tavern spell. And there's ways of getting tavern spells differently, but I'm kind of at a crossroads here, because if I decide to play this, then I'm risking not being able to buff my minions on the warband and having to focus on using tavern spells. And it doesn't work well with the little rag, but I tried to do it, so you'll see the outcome. So I freeze it, thinking I'm gonna try to make it work, but I shouldn't have. It was a mistake. And you'll see. Because I could have potentially, buffed up. I saw that I had enough to pull it out right now. It buffs the demon, so that was good. She just got +3/+3. So I think that was a decent trade. The other elemental that I switched it out for was okay. And it made the most out of my extra gold remaining. So that's her ability. You might have noticed that whenever she gets damaged, she sends out a bolt of 5 damage to another enemy. So here they do it to each other, but mine won because she had higher stats because of Krabby. So here I'm looking at Living Azurite, right? And here's where I started thinking, well, I can make this work. I'm doing pretty well. I have 30 plus 11 armor. Let's give it a shot. But so this one right here, the one that I just purchased, it cost health instead of gold. So I started ticking away at my own life. Just so I can use it, and it upgrades the tavern. So anytime you see an elemental now, it has a bonus of +1/+1. And I do something really dumb here. I get rid of a very strong minion to replace it with a not so strong minion. And I'm just buying tavern spells just so I can activate this. And here I go. Just instead of trying to upgrade my demon, I just keep looking for tavern spells. And that's a huge mistake. I should have not done that. I should have gotten rid of the Azurite. I should have focused on little rags, but nope. I get rid of a very powerful demon for a mediocre. I mean, it's not a bad minion. It's just that it needs to be buffed up, and that one's not buffed up. That demon was. I almost forget to use my Deadeye. I had a few seconds left. I just used it in a hurry, and I see that I can triple, which means that these two become one essentially. It's a golden, and then most of the time goldens, they give you better benefits, but with this particular minion, it doesn't have any other benefits but adding the stats of all of them together. And it's not even a perfect addition. It takes off a little bit. So you see 12, 8, 8, you would expect to see 26 attack after they all get added together, but it comes out to something like 25. But you'll see next recruit turn. During the next recruit phase. Sadly, that did not work out well for me. I sacrificed a lot of strong minions for weaker ones just because they were elementals. So, here I go. I see that it's 10 gold normally when you have 7 gold and 10, well, 10 gold in your hands, and it costs 7 gold to upgrade the tavern. That's when you could upgrade it again. But that's again not a requirement, just a nice way to pace yourself. So again, I should have gotten at least 26 health, but I got 25. I did get more because Lil Rag buffed it, but now here I'm looking at the Discover card I got. So when you triple a card, it gives you a spell, the triple reward, to discover a minion of the next tier. Because I'm tier 5, it gives me the opportunity to summon a 6-star minion. But the thing is, none of these are elementals, so I really have to think about what's going to benefit me the most. And, you know, they're all strong cards in their own right. Young Murkai can be pretty amazing if you have a Battlecry minion, or a couple Battlecry minions to the left and right of him. And then on the right, Ghoul Cabra can be very overpowered if you have a lot of Death Rattle minions. So, great cards, but for me, Chorl or Coral Murgler is the best option, because at the start of combat, he gains the stats of all the minions in your hand. So, with me buffing up elementals in the tavern, I can buy a lot of them, keep them in my hand, and he'll just gain all of their stats. The only issue I have in this game is that I just don't have enough gold to buy all those minions, because I'm spending all my gold on tavern spells.
Better hire a recruit while you can.
So there I go, and I'm almost forgetting to use Deadeye again. Yeah, I'm just thinking, what should I get rid of next? Because, they don't all work well with each other. Like, I really shouldn't have gotten the Azurite, since I had 2 rags already. I should have just started playing, every high elemental that I saw.
I think you can
And then I'm
really
thinking, I
stand
don't need
behind
Buddy
that.
forever. I can get rid of the Krabby. He's a Buddy Krabby. And then this guy's got 2 little rags, which means that there's less little rags in the tavern. So that's something to think about. So I see that, and I think I get a little I lose a little faith. And I think, oh, I don't need little rags anymore. I've got the Azurite.
Out there.
And then I don't start off with any good minions in the tavern. So I refresh once, and I think, well, if there's any good elementals, then I'll pick them. There's not.
Make all the
So now I'm just going to upgrade Krabby. Hope for the best. So now that Krabby gets tripled, instead of just giving the stats of Deadeye once, it gives twice the amount of Deadeye, which is pretty nice. And then I think, well, which one's the best? I think this one's got the most health, so if I keep it in my hand, then it'll buff up that Murloc. And then I think, well, if I get rid of a card, that one can be pretty overpowered if I put him next to Krabby. So let me get rid of a minion. Oh, yeah, let me decide who to use Deadeye on. Aim high, I figure I might be able to chip away at him. And then I just refresh to see if there's any good elementals. There's not, so I sold a minion of mine to pull out that Untamable. And if you didn't get a read of what he did, let me just slow it down so you can see it. There we go. Whenever this takes damage, gain Divine Shield. So he starts off with no Divine Shield, but if he gets hit and he survives, then he gets a Divine Shield. So the next thing that attacks him doesn't do any damage to him, which can be pretty amazing if he has a lot of health. So that's why I put him next to Krabby, so that way he can get the stats from Deadeye. Well, double the stats from Deadeye. So he can be pretty strong, and I think you'll see it this next combat phase. He basically carries the match. But I'm at the end of the rope here. If I lose this one, then I'm probably gonna lose. Is it this one that I survive? I might just I can't remember exactly, but I might just barely survive this one. I remember him being pretty strong. So here we go. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, he's got a lot of health on that guy. So yeah. Divine Shield activated. Sadly, my other minions aren't very strong. Oh, but the Divine Shield's coming in. Divine Shield saved me, so that was pretty amazing. So I got really lucky with how things worked out, because if I hadn't hit his lower minions, so let me rewind that. Like, you'll see. If I didn't have a Divine Shield there, probably wouldn't have survived being attacked by the one on the left. I hit. So, gotta get better with my timing on this. I hit. So I lose my Divine Shield right there, right? Because it's 0, so it's about to go away. But then I hit this one with 6 damage, so I only lose 6 health. And then I get my Divine Shield back just in time for his stronger minion to attack me. So it doesn't do any damage to me, but it kills him. And then at this point I have enough health to survive both of these attacks, but I don't need to. Got a Divine Shield. So I got really lucky with that combat phase. Doesn't always work out like that. Sometimes you get hit by the really big guy and you die instantly. You never get to use your Divine Shield. I've had that happen a few times. Here I am hoping I can just kill a minion outright. And then I figure I'll buff up all the minions that I got.
Go ahead and hire one of these recruits.
Buff that guy because he gets he has a Divine Shield, so anything to help him hit harder, that's real good. And again, mistakes have been made. I get the Shell Whistler Naga because his battle cry is to give you a tavern spell, which, as we know, I'm jonesing for. I'm trying to get all the tavern spells I can get. And then here I just want to card in my hand so it can buff up the Murloc. I'm hoping that, every little bit helps. But they don't work for me right now, so I just leave them in my hand. I'm just thinking, am I going to survive this? Are my minions enough? And typically at this stage of the game, you should have a lot stronger minions than this. Like, you should not have any 7/7 minions on your side of the warband. So I'm not prepared. And here it goes. So right there you see me hover over the bluebird and iridescent skyblazer. Whenever a friendly beast takes damage, give a friendly beast other than it +1/+1 permanently. So earlier in this, we saw that blue dinosaur, like that blue triceratops. Let's see if, I think I might have busted the game. Play for me! Yeah, I think I ruined it. Alright. That's so sad because I'm so close to being done. So sad. Well, I'll just try to finish it off real quick. So there was that dino that whenever it dies, it deals 1 damage to all of your other minions, and uh, it also gives them +1 health. So it doesn't really do anything. It just inflicts damage, so that way that bluebird can activate, giving another beast +1/+1. So you couple that with this parrot here on the left, and that parrot has the ability of activating, starting the death rattle of whichever minions to the far left. So if it attacked first, it would also do damage to all these minions, activating the bluebird, because that first rhinoceros was that rhinoceros right there. He is a death rattle. So this beast, the parrot, activates the death rattle. So you basically get 3 uses out of this death rattle, because he has a reborn as well. So reborn being like this bluebird, you see that blue tint over it, that's to signify that it's reborn, meaning it comes back to life after it dies. So it does 3 damage to all of these minions. So every time a beast takes damage, this bluebird gives another beast +1/+1. That's why this guy is so strong. That's so strong, because they're constantly getting buffed by this one. And this minion right here is an all minion, meaning it includes being a beast. So he's been getting buffed up recently. He's a 6-star minion though. I wish I had hovered over that guy. Every time a beast takes damage, oh man, every time a beast takes damage, there we go, Trigor the Lasher. Whenever another friendly beast takes damage, gain +2 health permanently. So him coupled with everything that I've talked about recently, that Triceratops and the Bluebird, he gets a lot of health fast. So let's see. Nope, still won't let me play it. So you see I lose that game, but I barely hang on by 1 health. So that puts me in 4th place. And then this is it for me. Basically, I'm done after this. I don't see any way to survive my next round. I end up selling my Azurite to see if I can get a better card in my hand. I can't. So I end up getting absolutely destroyed at the end here, and I get 4th place. But hey, at least it's not 7th or 8th place. I'm happy with 4th place in this bracket, because it's kind of hard sometimes. I hope that wasn't too much of a mess. I'll definitely try harder. I'll use some you know other images and maybe a spreadsheet to make everything a little easier. But yeah, that's my first tutorial at Battlegrounds.